Welcome back to the show, everybody. Well, Ripple has more money licenses in the United States than you think, ladies and gentlemen. And are we closer to a settlement than we think? Well, we're going to find out today. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com. Right now, $2.57 trillion market cap for crypto. We know that the market is off by 5.4%. And somewhere around yesterday afternoon, I'm not sure exactly what time it was, the entire market fell off of a cliff. Now, that could have been because of geopolitical conflicts that are going on. We'll keep an eye on it to see if that is, in fact, what happened and moved the market. We don't know, but that's my speculative guess at this point. But, however, let's move through the news because it doesn't make me any less bullish about where we are. Right now, Bitcoin's pulled back here, 67,600 plus, 3,200 plus for Ethereum right now. Again, the entire market affected. 107 billion plus for market cap for Tether. And XRP has slipped to the number 8 spot now, slipping 2 spots in market cap at 54 cents. It's off by 8.4 on the 24-hour and off by 7.3 in the 7-day. It's a strong stomach needed for crypto, ladies and gentlemen. Those numbers are staggering. And right now you could see ranging between 52 and 59 cents. XRP struggling to get back up to where we were. But again, these areas are not unfamiliar to the technical analysts who have told us about these ranges. So keep that in mind as we move through it. Now, I'll tell you what, and it doesn't stop the excitement for this. And we got breaking news, 19 days until XRP Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. We're down in the teens. Oh, we're setting records. Did you get your ticket with private dinner with Brad Garlinghouse? Did you join the Patreon for me or DAI so you could get the discount code? And it is a discount code, ladies and gentlemen, which is a charitable donation and a tax write-off as well. And you get private dinner with Brad Garlinghouse, Christian Carlo, and so many other incredible people. Congressman Wiley Nichols going to be there too. And book your room rated MGM. I tell you, join the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of others who will be coming. This is a record-setting event, and it is going to be an immersive, educational, empowering event because you're going to get an enormous amount of information at this conference. That's exactly the way we designed it. And we want to show you this. How proud are we for John Deaton? John Deaton has raised more than $1 million for his campaign in Q1. And I tell you right now, watch out, Elizabeth Warren, because I believe John Deaton is going to unseat you from your Senate chair. And I personally am going to do everything legitimately possible to help him because you are an abscess to this country. You're like an abscessed tooth, and we need to pull it and get rid of it right away. Pack your bags, baby. Knowing full well that Elizabeth Warren's done her fair share to contribute to the U.S. national debt, which will shatter $141 trillion by the year 2054. $141 trillion. That is not sustainable. We all know this, right? Which is also why people who are gold bugs like me know it too. Yeah. I've been buying all kinds of precious metals. Gold on my... Wait a minute. Can Mrs. Backup hear me? Because I did buy the dip on XRP too. I bought that dip. You know I did. Yes, I did. It's not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I did. I'm just asking you not to tell Mrs. Backup, right? That's, I think, I wouldn't tell on you, Yeah. Gold, metal, silver. I just bought a jag of silver the other day, and I can't wait for it to get here from Miles Franklin. You could buy it too. All you got to do is info at Miles Franklin, and then put dig gold in the subject box. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, precious metals and protocols with real utility. That's where I'm living these days, and private equity, obviously. But let me remind everybody why we see the financial system coming together, a new a new financial system, a new monetary system being introduced and rolled out little by little, obviously. But you know what? Take a listen to this nice reminder from Brad Garlinghouse here.
The thing to think about, I think, is if you approach the regulators with you need to adapt to us, I mean, that is dead on arrival. Like in my experience, and globally, and frankly, even here in Davos, meeting with financial regulators in all kinds of countries, I think we have to acknowledge. Ben Bernanke, the former head of the U.S. Fed, came to one of Ripple's customer events, and one of the things he said is, countries will not give up their ability to control monetary supply. They will roll tanks into the streets first because it's giving up sovereignty.
And there you have it right there. What's the fight about all this innovation, all this suing this one and that one and this one? Brad Garlinghouse told us a long time ago. It's about control, power, and relevance of the governments and the central banks of the world. And they will roll out the tanks before they allow us to have it. That's just a fact. So it's about getting it inside of a regulatory framework and trying to make sure that they don't stifle the innovation, nor do they use the power of the innovation to control all of us as citizens. There's the danger in the fine line. Bringing us down to the rubber meets the road, back to what cases are active here. Let's look at this one. Coinbase has now filed a motion to appeal a judge's decision from last month. This is really asking for an interlocutory appeal right now is what's going on here over this SEC's controlling question. And the controlling question here is essentially just this. The SEC is claiming that there is no contract, but it still qualifies as a securities offering, essentially is what they're saying here. And the question is this. The Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal explained April 12th that the controlling question revolves around whether an investment contract requires something contractual, whether an investment contract can exist absent any post-sale obligation is a pure controlling question of law. The exchange claims in the court filing. So, this is what we're talking about here, and I believe you have to have a contract. And I think that is right. And we're going to see them look. And I mean, we have to understand, too, the SEC knows the answers to a lot of these questions, and they pursue it and push it anyway because they're going for legal precedent, even if it's something they wanted or not. That's what's so scary about all this. This is why I believe Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati waved this around the room the other day on Twitter. Yeah. Well, I tell you, if anybody's really gotten on to Twitter and just taken to it like a duck to water these days, it's Stuart Alderati. Basically, what he shared was this decision here over Govil and how the Second Circuit Court appeals refused to reconsider the decision in Govil, and which held that if a buyer suffers no financial loss, the SEC is not entitled to disgorgement from the seller. And I remind everybody, as Stuart shared that, I believe the reason he shared it was because of this. For anyone tracking the SEC versus Ripple case, the clients from the institutional sales that are still in question haven't lost any money. How much more money will Ripple and a legally compliant, transparent company have to pay just to be allowed to do business in the United States? Our government agencies have become honeypots instead of doing the actual job of protecting capital markets and investor protection. What a sad commentary that is. Then we see right here, Ashley Prosper has gone back down the rabbit hole. Well, I tell you what, there are some incredible researchers in this space, and Ashley is certainly one of them. Ripple only needs 9 more money transmitter licenses. So I emailed and I called the remaining 9 states. 5 responded, and here's what they said. Texas Ripple money transmitter license is pending approval. Come on in. New Jersey, Ripple owned Standard Custody and Trust, had an application pending in the state for some time. The delay was unexplained, but because of my query, it will now get attention. Indiana, Ripple does not currently have a money transmitter license in the state, but they hinted one is pending approval. Washington, Ripple does not currently have a money transmitter license in the state, but they hinted one is a pending approval. Florida had an application in Florida, but it was withdrawn in March 23. They said it was a technical withdrawal due to not receiving a response from the company. Massachusetts, no answer yet. North Carolina, the same. Tennessee, Virginia. The map has been updated with this new information. How about that? Ripple is licensed to operate in 40 out of the 50 states. Come on in. And that's not all. Tennessee's Department of Financial Institutions has just confirmed that they also have a money transmitter license pending approval. This makes 46 states, plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. The last 4 to fall our way will need to be Florida, Massachusetts, Virginia, and North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. Go Ashley Prosper. Since I have yet to receive an answer from Massachusetts, Virginia, and North Carolina, I will try them again on Monday. I may discover that Ripple only has one state left to go, possibly the Sunshine State. How about that? Then there's this. Ashley Prosper goes down this rabbit hole right here. I tell you what, Ashley, remarkable stuff you're doing for yourself, obviously, and then sharing it with the community. It's very welcome, and we certainly appreciate you. Is the Ripple case over? Let me count the ways. Second Circuit says no SEC disgorgement where no financial loss was suffered. SEC submits terrible remedies on judgment brief, failing to identify a single investor who suffered financial loss at the hands of Ripple. This would be a lot funnier if Ripple hadn't paid probably close to $200 million for the legal defense. Settlement conference was suddenly scheduled without Ripple submitting a reply to the SEC's remedies brief. Settlement conference longer than anticipated. Stuart Alderati miscounts the number of major crypto cases the SEC is still litigating. All of this is speculative, but certainly fun to go over. SEC launches Ethereum investigation. SEC sends Wells notice to Uniswap. Stablecoin legislation in the House and Senate nears completion. Ripple announces stablecoin plans. Ripple unlocks unscheduled escrow. SEC has another Sunshine Act meeting scheduled for April 16th and has having one on the 4th of April, and that 16th I think is not accurate, and I think Ashley will correct that in a second here. I can't say that Ripple and the SEC have reached a settlement, but I can say it looks that way. You know, there are things that do feel on this list that we're getting very close now to getting something resolved and some finality in this case. Maybe it goes all the way to the Supreme Court. Maybe there is a settlement. I welcome finality that doesn't harm us or Ripple or XRP or the ledger or the rest of the crypto space when it comes to a ruling in this case. That's what I hope for. But one more note here from Ashley is correction. There is no settlement conference scheduled for April 16th, and the escrow unlock has been explained. However, we're still free to speculate on the other points I made, though. Apologies for any confusion on my part. Exactly. Just like we know that Crypto Area has spoken to Jazzy Cooper from Ripple, who said that the wording in the World Bank report about XRP, XLM being stablecoins, as far as Ripple is concerned, is inaccurate and an error from their end. And again, we still want to understand the larger question is how does a legislator, how does a regulator, how does the banks see XRP? Just like, you know, this information here too. We know that there's sunshine meetings that happen all the time. And Mark Fagel supports that notion, who used to work at the SEC. The SEC holds a closed meeting to consider enforcement actions nearly every week of the year. So it's always odd when people make predictions based on meeting on a calendar. And essentially, you know, Ashley's not making a prediction here. She's just showing the speculation and the thoughts to think about, things to consider, no doubt about it. So I appreciate all of this information, and all of this is the stuff we need to be focused on, because May 6th, I believe, is the last filing scheduled for this part of the case. So it should be nothing but a decision from that. And typically, Judge Torres takes about 2 months. So that could put us in July, early August for some kind of a actual final ruling in this case. And then we'll see if someone appeals that ruling on either side going forward. Look, that's going to do it for me. We're going into the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to join us in there. It's the World Health Organization, and I tell you, between them and the World Evil Forum, this is bad news, and we have to pay attention to what they're doing because they have a lot of money behind them and a lot of power from different countries as well. And now they're coming for our food supply, and you need to know exactly what they're doing. So come on into the Freedom Zone, not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're getting started right now. Come on in. All right.